Welcome back, everyone, to State of the Game. Let's start talking about some Heart of the Swarm here with pretty much everyone on the show, because that's what we were doing last week. QXC, obviously, we'll get his words on it. It's kind of ironic that
Well,
we're all just going to bitch about Terran and QXC isn't here to defend
well,
himself.
here's the thing. Like I've played a lot since last week now because I just started finally.
Yeah.
Okay, and now I've gotten to a good level, and I started making some tweets about some certain units from a certain race, and suddenly QXC doesn't show up. I don't know. It's kind
Yeah,
of
I was going
weird.
to say, I think this is a perfect opportunity for us to have a real conversation about the Hellbat. And I'm playing a lot of Terran in beta, but I'm
I
not very good at
actually
it, so
I have some shit to say about the
Yeah.
medevac, the new medevac. It's fucked up, I think. I think that this
Yeah.
is actually a mistake. And here's the thing. I think Hellbat drops are too strong with four of them against Zerg. Okay, against
Yeah.
Protoss, I've actually learned how to deal with them. I'm no longer afraid. Well, if they get off, obviously I'm fucked. But, like, I know how to deal with them. Whereas I look at it with Zerg and I'm like, is there actually a way to deal with this without getting behind? It's maybe, maybe not. It's pretty tough. But the problem, and I think this is actually an issue for professional play, is the medevac speed boost.
It's
Because
ridiculous.
like I will know it's coming, but I have to do other things in my base. Like they might even poke my front with a speed hellion or whatever. Like
Come on,
unless
who
you're
built
staring
those things?
at the spot that the medevac comes in, no matter how quick you are, it's in. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like it can be off my screen, waiting right beyond any range of any vision givers I have. Like I've been going Stargate a lot of games, just putting Phoenixes patrolling and stuff, and that doesn't even stop it because the thing flies in so fast. Like we are going to see, you know, for a while there, it was kind of stupid where 111 would like kill Protoss players or something, and it would be kind of random where it'd be like hard to get like people staying on top. I feel like this is going to add so much randomness, the speed of the medevac, so much randomness to these matchups where, like, oh, look at that, Liquid Hero just happened to be glancing at his natural, and this flew in, and the mines burrowed, and he lost 8 probes. And it's like, it's so fast that I don't I don't think that there's a way that you can actually manage, especially when people get good and there's like 5 of these flying around late game. Like imagine Gumiho or Innovation doing these
yes.
drops. I guess by that time you can start buying cannons or something, but there's something wrong with how fast it is. It's so fast that you literally can't stop it. You just It doesn't matter how much I prepare. Like I have to stare at my Nexus if I don't want to lose any probes. Which is that the right way to do it? I'm worried, man, about some of these pro gamers like starting to just lose games that like you could be way better than your opponent and he just hides it very well. The medevac opening
Holy
and just
shit.
kills
Look
all
at
the
this.
probes.
Oh, are you guys watching the stream? That's insanity.
Hmm?
This is
I'm
there's
watching. Yeah, it's
there's a
fast.
race between a Phoenix Muta and a medevac. Watch the medevac that gets trailed behind. It catches up to the other medevac. And it actually almost beats the Muta there.
Just kind of
I
looks
think
funny,
that
actually.
I mean this is like impressive and stuff, but I feel like unless you've played like a lot of the beta and been ready for the drop and it still just gets in so well,
Yeah.
I don't know how to really describe this without like
Well, it's,
I mean I don't know, like maybe you can back me up or something because it's weird, man. How
Yeah,
I'll-
it's ridiculous. I mean, even for yeah, especially for Zerg, it's so hard to stop. And even with mutas, if you're chasing a medivac, they have a great chance of getting away. Especially if you've broken a Terran army, and like the medivacs are all running away, and they just boost to the next Marine squad, and it's like, it's so much harder to it's just so much harder to punish, so much harder to stop drops. They have so much maneuverability in every situation, so they just pick up and run away, or pick up and drop you. They can
Like-
counterattack at any time.
I actually like I've been playing against so many mine drops, and I actually now it's the same situation every time now because I'm doing the same build where I have 3 stalkers, a sentry, a zealot, an immortal, an observer, and my mothership core with enough energy for that, and they still get to burrow all 3 mines every single time. Where it's like, if that's all standing around my nexus, and I'm just trying to make sure that I'm watching the entire mini-map so that nothing dies at the natural, like, every time all 3 of those burrow, even if I'm that ready, where it's like, if I'm that ready against anything else in the game, it gets crushed no matter what. And the thing is, I'll run my probe, so I won't really lose that much, but it's just like, whoa, imagine if you don't 100% know it's coming and you're not as ready as I am for these. It's like, you are taking sick damage.
You lose so many drones from like just one mine hit in a mineral patch. It's crazy. So yeah, I've had that happen to me. Like especially when I was first started, I didn't really understand that they could drop mines or anything like that. And they dropped like 4 mines in my base, and like I gotta run that. I gotta hope my drones are well out of range before they finish burrowing. And then I gotta get an overseer or something over there that can actually see it and then kill it with like sacrificing multiple units into their like triggers and then killing them slowly. And it's really hard.
It's
You gotta
actually,
be
it's
100% ready.
what is the range on a mine?
3, I think.
I can look up real quick.
Because I actually, if I attack move a stalker with an observer over the mine, I feel like a third of the time the stalker just dies to the mine.
5
I
range.
don't understand.
It's 5
Oh, okay,
range.
that's why. So
5?
you have to be.
Wow.
That
Yeah.
makes much more sense. Like now, I've started like very carefully inching in, but don't even get me started on mech players that go mine, Thor, Viking, Raven because I want to kill myself. Oh my god! Like, how do I keep my detection alive? It's
Here's
the mine is a crazy unit, and it's hard to deal with. I'm not saying the mine isn't balanced or anything yet, but like it is hard to deal with, especially when they have like 30 of them with their army. I can't even target them down because they don't even have that high of a priority. So it's like my stuff's attacking these high hit point Thors I don't even care about, and like the mines just run up and burrow. But
So Dan,
Yeah, it changed.
watch this
changed
VOD right here. It's pretty
Okay.
cool. Little 1 Widow Mine, 1 shot, 30 Lings dead in a matter of seconds. I just
Oh,
think that's
man.
really.
it's kind of crazy, man.
I think that's all you got to show.
Well, here's
Yep.
the thing with the medevac speed boost. It's like from a design standpoint, I'd prefer that there was like a reason for all the changes that they're making in beta, and it's just like giving tank siege mode without the upgrade. It's like, yeah, that's nice and all, but why?
like-
You know?
I
What is
actually
the?
now
Oh,
that
you
I've-
do like that?
Now that
Okay.
I've played against it as Protoss, I like them starting siege mode against Protoss at least. Because with the
Right.
new weapons that I have and the new defense of the mothership core, like if they didn't start with siege mode, it would never be worthwhile to do like a 1-1-1 ever again against Protoss because my mothership core will hold everything so easily, and it's like, what's the point? So I actually really like that change now that I've played a bunch.
All right.
I
Well,
think
why
that's-
give
I think that's
medevac
solid.
speed though? Like, what's the
Well,
point of the medevac speed? Yeah.
I think I get it, right? Because they're increasing the air presence of all the races so much right now, right? Like the mutas are way
That's a good
better,
point,
they're way
yeah.
faster, and you have phoenixes are better, and there's a lot more air for Protoss. So like, they need to be fast is the thing. They do need something because otherwise the mothership core shuts down everything. Like you are never going to get a drop off on me again if you don't have this. So it's like this really weird balance that they're trying to strike.
Well, medevacs
And-
used to be just like faster in general, and then they nerfed the speed. So what if they brought it up to like a little above where it was before, where it's not as fast as would be too scary, but it's not as slow as it is in Wings of Liberty?
I don't know.
Oh.
It's like such a hard thing to balance, and I want to see what mOOnGLaDe thinks about this new patch that came out like a couple hours
Well,
ago.
before mOOnGLaDe gets his thoughts in on that, let's read some other thoughts out there, some other Zergs, particularly one named Greg Idra Fields. I got to pull this up, though. Hopefully I can find it here. All right. Never mind. mOOnGLaDe, do yours. I got to find this freaking post. I wasn't prepped for this.
Yeah, so the new patch, for anyone who didn't check it, like right before State of the Game, it like literally was just released. Hellbat's only 2 per medevac now.
Yeah. Here,
I
I'll
think
put
that'll
what
make
Idra
it
said.
Make
Go ahead,
it a little
mOOnGLaDe.
bit better. I think,
Right?
sure. But I mean, they're still Hellbats, and they can still
Yeah.
be used very effectively in a lot of other ways. I mean, they're still
That's true.
super damage, super tanky, super cheap. I mean, it's gonna make it a lot easier for like the early game, so they can't just capitalize on like cheap drops and killing all the drones. But
Yeah.
I still think that might have to be changed a little bit, at least for just in general, because they just seem a lot too strong.
Yeah, the medevac thing, like a lot of people are complaining about the dropping of that, but I feel like as I've gotten really high on the ladder now that I see more mine drops than Hellbat drops against Protoss because you can do the mine drops kind of without committing to an armory and like Protoss, you know, the detection is a little bit sparse in the early game and stuff. So I almost feel like that nerf like helped Protoss quite a bit. And all right, anyways, here's what I'm like trying to get at in a really weird way. With it taking up half a medevac, do you think you're going to get dropped by 2 Hellions and a
that was the
Hellbat or
joke.
something now?
That's what I was telling Dan earlier. Like, why don't they just drop or get 4 Hellions and then just change them into the Hellbats as soon as you land? Like, they're not gonna die in the process of changing them. They're gonna kill whatever is coming out from the. Or you can drop maybe 2 Hellions and is it how much does a Widow Mine take up?
Well,
1 or 2 slots?
One.
Yeah.
Is it just
Well,
one?
no,
sorry, like,
it
you can
takes
put.
up
I
2
think it's
slots.
2. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you could
Alright,
put
yeah.
3 Hellions and 1 Widow Mine, and as you're changing into a Battle Hellion, the Widow Mine will kill whatever's coming to attack those.
No, listen to this, right?
Just like the
Like
sick.
one
your health
Hellbat, 2 Hellion drop. You drop them out, and you know, as soon as you see that Hellbat drop out, you're like, run these drones. But then the Hellions are there, and the drones line up, and the Hellions hunt
Dude,
them
that's
down.
actually a sick mind game. You don't know what's coming out of that fucking medevac.
No.
It could be a Widow
Could be-
Mine. It could be 1 and 2 Hellions.
A
It could
Thor
be
drops down.
a
it's like,
fucking
well,
Thor. You're
you
like,
could
shit, I'm just
Thor
gonna
art.
leave.
You could even put
Yeah.
Marines in those medevacs, man. The possibilities are
Exactly.
endless.
Exactly.
All right, let's.
Yeah.
How is this going to help though? Like, is this? What do you think, mOOnGLaDe? I want to hear You've been playing a lot of HOTS. What do you think about this specific change for Hellbat drops? Because we've seen some dastardly Hellbat drops.
I think it'll definitely make a difference. It'll stop just what they're doing at the moment for sure. I mean, no full 4 Hellbat drops like at the start of the game, or they're double expanding, whatever. It's making it a lot easier. Yeah, I think it's a very good change. I mean, I think they still need to change the mini-backs, but it's a step in the right direction, and it should make early game a lot easier for Zerg.
I feel like there's a lot of pressure on Blizzard to try to like give Terrans a lot of new stuff because they only get like 1 new unit essentially, you know, aside from like Hellbats and all that. But like I think there's still some anger about the Warhound being taken out, so they're trying to give them something, you know. But
Yeah, but the Warhound felt like it never really fit in the game at all.
Yeah.
I mean, it was like this weird unit that moved
was.
weirdly, it shot weirdly, and
Yeah.
did crazy damage and
Yeah.
looked out of
Like,
place.
It felt just
And
like
stripped
a.
immortal shields for some reason.
still no
Yeah.
new unit after that, you know. That's the thing.
Yeah, also like,
It's like-
I mean, Zerg got 2 new units, but we don't even use them that much at the moment. It's like, I feel the Zergs are kind of like gotten the short end of the
Speaking of
stick.
which, I'm sorry that I am all over the place right now because I'm so excited. I've been playing so much HOTS. But what do you think about the guy that shoots guys up out of the ground against Protoss? What do you think about that guy? What's
What?
called
The guy who-
Brood Host? Swarm
This
Host?
guy
What
is-
is it?
Storm Host?
Oh, Swarm Host?
Oh
Yeah.
god, I can't believe
Yeah.
I just did that. But what do you think about that guy against Protoss? Have you tried him out? Like some of these builds that I've seen?
Honestly, I haven't tried him nearly enough. I have no right to speak of the Storm Host personally,
Yeah.
but I have heard by talking to some good Protoss players that they have been experiencing Storm Host play, like 2-base Storm Host play into a Zerg that takes the third and does other stuff, contains for a while. Sounds really good.
It's for me, it's been the most interesting thing I've played against in Heart of the Swarm is good Swarm Host play, or at least for right now, good Swarm Host play where they like burrow, shoot, run away and stuff to different locations.
Yeah.
Turns into
You don't
this
wanna sit-
weird.
You don't want to just keep them there because they continually
Yeah.
spawn waves. Like if they kill a wave and they're still burrowed, they're probably just going to die. So you got to
Yeah.
you burrow them at the right time, send all the swarms out, and run away.
Yeah.
It's really interesting play.
I've been
Well,
hearing
the-
people say they're really hard to play against if you're behind. You know, like if a Zerg decides to get a lot of
Yeah.
Swarm Hosts after they're already ahead, it makes it really, really tough to come back.
Yeah, it's very useful.
That's so true because it's kind of interesting because there's like 2 modes that I've run into a lot, which is the Nidus play with Mass Queen, where they use the
Yeah.
Queen to stop air, and then the one with Hydras where they're really mobile and all over the map. And against the Hydra one, I feel like that is the coolest, most interesting thing that I've hit because it's so basically what the games where I played, it's end up with like I have a bunch of like blink stalkers. You'd think splash, but you don't want to fight that shit heads up ever, and like try to maneuver like observers around or something to see where the hydras are, and like blinking over like what are those called? Those things that they shoot out like broodlings,
Locusts.
well, not locusts.
Locusts.
Like
Locusts,
blinking
yeah.
over the locusts that are coming for me and trying to snipe some of them, and then the hydras run up
Whoa.
and I have to run away, and it's like it actually makes for some really cool games. But
Damn, what
Yeah.
would you
It's gonna
say?
be fun to watch.
And this is also to mOOnGLaDe. Well, I guess to everyone, but what is the? Because you can't just go swarm host. It has to have something with it, right? Otherwise, you're just gonna
Yeah.
get fucking toasted. What's
Yeah.
the best complementary unit for swarm host that you guys have found?
It's
I
like
think
Roach Hydra.
Yeah,
It's like,
maybe
it's all range
that.
attack. I mean, if you're upgrading range and stuff, it'll go with the Locust a lot
I
easier.
like some
but,
of the. I mean, I've seen a lot of people do it with queens, which can get annoying because if you have
Really?
to actually hit the queen one with completely overwhelming force at exactly the right time, or the transfusions kill you. So like it's kind of tricky to play against the queen one sometimes, but I feel like the other ones might be better, especially with like the burrow on burrow micro, and then also like you'll run up with the locusts and be attacking with your units, and then run away as the locusts are going away. So it's like you're basically using them as like your meat shield the entire time. It's I don't know, it's really cool though. I can't wait to see as Zergs like try this more. I think it's gonna make ZVP possibly really fresh. Maybe.
I hope
If it-
so. I really
Unless
hope
there's
so.
like an easy way around this that I just haven't figured out
It's
yet.
probably just like open Phoenix every game, and you just pick them up and kill them when they've got small numbers, because they can't invest like a lot of swarm hosts and a lot of hydras or anything like that.
Normally, because that's actually been most of my games so far that I've played against them. But like some people are smart enough that they wait for hydras or they wait for queens or they go hydras first, perhaps put some pressure on your third. So like you're like over making sentries, so you don't have enough splash to deal with the whatever the locusts or whatever. So I don't know. There's some interesting things people are pulling out with that.
So
We get a lot of people from Masters and GM, a few GM playing in the clan matches on my stream, and a lot of them I've noticed if they kind of rush for swarm hosts on two bases and things like that, it's that situation that you're talking about where there's just they've got like maybe 4 or 5, and because they're so expensive, there's not enough of them out to really do a lot with. So that's why I think they're going to be much better like later on in the game. I don't think opening swarm host is going to be too viable at the pro level.
Yeah, I've only liked 3 base plus swarm host. Like anyone that goes 2 base, I feel like it's just they don't have enough
It's
with
not
it.
enough,
I can feel
yeah.
that shit
Yeah,
so
yeah.
off.
Not enough gas, pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I tried Ling swarm host, kind of like the Ling lurker against Terran from Brood War. I tried to recreate that, but it didn't work. I don't know. Don't try.
Yeah, they kind of do remind me of lurkers a little bit, right? Like they burrow.
Yeah. I think it's like kind of like the StarCraft 2 version of the lurker, but
Yeah.
it's not really the same, unfortunately.
No, it's certainly not. And if it was, I would need the Reaver back. So
mOOnGLaDe, have you been messing around with any of these upgrades that they've moved down to tier 1 now? So the hatchery and the
Overlord
overlord
speed.
speed. Is that helpful as hell? Can you actually
my
scout
goodness,
now in the
yes.
early game?
Yeah, it's so helpful, especially against Terran, because you can just fly in constantly and you can see everything. So you can see if they're going mech the moment you want. You can see they're going Hellbat drop. You can see everything.
have you actually used it pre-layer? Like, are you using it?
I literally first 100 gas against Terran, I'll get that because.
Oh, that's awesome.
Oh, wow.
How many queens? Like, so
Uh,
this has to be at least 4 queen play, right?
Usually three, and
3 queens and your first 100 gas on that?
Dude,
Oh wow,
everyone-
you're so brave.
I don't know. Everyone's going like mines or like Hellbats, so you got a bit of time. It's not like you're gonna usually die to like the first 4 Hellions or anything like that. You can always
Yeah. Okay.
City, Nightcrawler, and some Zerglings. But and against Protoss it's kind of hard because it's you're fighting against timings usually, and like 100 gas is like pretty important early game. I mean, you don't want to really spend that on like an Overlord drop when you need Lair or Zergling speed or something else that's going to actually save you against an Immortal push that is so much harder in Heart of the Swarm. So I hadn't really figured a perfect time for that yet. And against Zerg, I've seen some Zergs get it really quickly, but everything seems to be about mutas at the moment, so gas is pretty important
So
too.
you don't really need to scout that.
No, you can just assume at the moment it's going to be a muta war, and if they don't go muta, then you're probably going to win.
What about Burrow? Last week we were just talking about it's only really applicable to roaches. Have you found any more
Yeah.
applications?
No, not really. Burrow, it's not that useful. I mean,
Yeah.
At least
No
tier
one's
one,
getting
yeah.
it against Protoss,
yeah,
like nobody.
it's like, yeah, Burrow with slow roaches, it's not that useful. You're not going to do anything really.
Do you remember offensive hatchery against Protoss into making a queen and tumoring the gnat? I was thinking about like, what if you did like a 7 pool or something, just enough so they have to cannon their main and lose the low ground, and just instead of speed, you go up to burrow and put that there. That natural will be so delayed. I'm just waiting for someone to do that
Yeah,
to me.
that'd be cool. That'd be cool. But I mean, you're investing a lot, and they're eventually just cannon it once they
Yeah.
figure it out.
If I have to
Yeah,
make a
that's true.
cannon before that Nexus, though, my little Protoss heart is broken.
Yeah, then you just think this motherfucker 7 pulled me, and he got 100 gas and made Burrow, and yeah, he's probably just finished his natural anyway. So it doesn't matter.
Yeah,
Dan, for Protoss, how are you working in the mothership core? Last week you had mentioned in PvP a lot of people are just going the Blink Observer Stalker build, but using a mothership.
I don't hit that ever anymore.
Really, it's already
like,
changed that quickly.
I was a much lower level last week. Now I'm actually high level on the beta, so I've been hitting like more of the more legit stuff.
Yeah. So what are they doing?
And well, it's like a lot of Stargate, a lot of Stargate, a lot of early gateway pressure, like 3 gates and stuff, are coming back a little bit because people are getting a little bit too greedy. But that's just like a little metagame shift, so that doesn't really matter. There's a decent amount of DT as well, because you can kind of like pressure and go DT. So like if you're pressuring with stalkers while going DT, then it keeps most flying things out of your base. But for the most part, it's been Stargate play, which is like really weird and different in PvP now than in Wings of Liberty, because before you, with Stargate versus Stargate perfect play, it's like you both are going Phoenixes, neither of you ever attack. You both try to get 3 bases and the range upgrade as quickly as possible and switch into Archons and go. But the thing is, Archons count as massive, and Tempests get huge bonus versus massive. So, like,
Ooh.
Archons are no longer necessarily the end-all to this. I'm not 100% sure. Like, maybe you can fit them in or something, but I don't know. That gets weird, but a lot of the time there's, like, this weird thing with Stargate openers where if you go Oracle and your opponent goes Phoenix, then if he left his Phoenixes at home, you lose, but if he sent them out, you win. Because you either kill all the probes or he kills your Oracle, and then it's like, well, that was 150 gas and a lot of build time and 2 chrono boosts, so now he's up on Phoenixes, and now he can do what he likes. I don't know, PvP is getting way better than it was for me like 4 or 5 days ago. 4 or 5 days ago, I was like, this is the worst rock, paper, scissors I've seen since 4-gate. So I don't know. It's getting better though. I'm starting to like figure out kind of what you can do with it. And the mothership core, I guess that's what you actually were talking about.
Yeah.
CP. I'm just too excited, guys. I'm sorry. I'm
How
crazy
early are you
today.
getting your core, Dan? Are you getting it right after Cybercore, or?
No, I never get it right after Cybercore. I don't like it. A lot of people are doing that.
Yeah,
And
I mean-
I like some of these builds, but I guess it depends on matchup
Okay.
and build. Like
Are you getting it early in
use it-
PvZ?
PvZ, no, I don't get it till I'm taking my 3rd. I've seen a
Really?
lot of people pressuring with it.
Right,
but
right.
as I'm starting my 3rd, I normally start it because then I get a little bit more gas. I don't really need that extra sentry or whatever. And I just kind of get it then because I basically want it to have 100 energy when my 3rd finishes so that I can utilize its mothership shooter thingy.
Turn it into a planetary.
Oh.
But like, yeah, some of these rushes we're seeing, like these 7 gates, like I believe Sase versus Snoot from the MLG thing on Daybreak. That +1 7 gate with the time warp. Oh my god, he like time warps all the roaches and just kills them with zealots.
Yeah.
It was pretty powerful.
I've got a
Uh,
question for you, Dan. I was seeing today a couple Protoss players going for like a lower gateway Oracle +1 Zealot pushes at the 3rd. What do you think about that as sort of like an alternative to the old school Zealot Void Ray thing at the 3rd?
Yeah,
that's
it's-
strong.
I think you kind of nailed it right there. Like it's kind of like that, where it's this powerful thing that is pretty good. Like whenever you pair up Oracle with other units to fight stuff, it's actually so surprisingly good.
I
Like,
almost like Oracle better.
dude, I definitely like Oracle better. Like, I actually have been trying a few of these things. Like, if you do 6 gate 4 Oracles against Terran, it's like funny because
Yeah.
I don't even know how they're supposed to target those down quick enough. Like,
Yeah. Me
it's
too.
kind of easy.
Yeah.
I like some of these pressure plays, and the Oracle is such an interesting unit. Oh my god, it's so interesting. But like,
Imagine if it's still at the cloaking field.
oh god, don't even.
No.
No, my brain is already a puddle in the bottom of my skull. Don't do this to me. Uh, Oracle though is like, mOOnGLaDe, how do you feel about the Oracle against Zerg? Like, what are your honest thoughts? Because that is actually where I found myself using it the least. Like, I always
Queens
make
can
one
shut
leak.
it down. I mean, it
Yeah.
can get shut down if you're kind of ready for it. You see it coming. I have experienced like a kind of like a 4-gate plus Oracle pressure. I mean, they could just type down the queens themselves while the zealots
Yeah.
kill everything on the ground. So I think it has its uses, absolutely. I don't fight it that often anymore. I mean, I still encounter it sometimes, but yeah, it's probably more useful against Terran these days.
Yeah,
Especially if you know what's going.
I've actually tried a little bit against Zerg, going like, instead of making 4 Phoenixes and moving out, making 4 Oracles and moving out.
Yeah.
And if they actually, if you have your Stalker cover perfectly and they don't see it,
Yeah.
you kill like 3 Queens and the hatchery before any spores get
Yeah.
out.
Yeah, it's insane
It's
how
like-
much damage they do against queens and buildings.
One of my new favorite things I'm trying against Zerg also is like just having a big group of them with my army, because when like Roach Ling pressure comes, you just turn them on and everything dies.
Yeah.
Too. I don't know. I'm loving playing around the Oracle though, because the thing is so damn fragile. Like, if your
Yeah.
opponent just blindly gets anti-air, you just don't do damage with it.
Yeah.
I can talk
pretty awesome,
for
though, man.
100 days about Heart of the Storm right
Well,
now.
keep
man.
talking, man. I'm throwing
thanks.
topics at you guys.
I'll give
but-
you a new all-in that I experienced
All right.
yesterday. You know, Puck. He's actually
Yeah.
a pretty good player,
Oh,
and
Fucking
he's got
great.
a pretty cool all-in that I know a few seconds of experience with. Like, he opens like Void Rays, and he makes about 3 Void Rays, and while he's doing that, he's going Immortals. And he does like an Immortal Mothership Core Void Ray all-in, and that is so damn strong because of Void Rays is so damn strong nowadays. Like, I was doing a bit of a weird build. I was going like 2-base Hydra because he was like going Stargate, so I thought it wasn't. But anyway, it was like really, really strong. I couldn't believe it. I think I'd have a very hard time even if I was going like proper 3-base Zerg and like proper anti-air. I mean, like he's got the slow, he's got full fields, he's got Immortals, and he's got these 3 Void Rays that do sick damage. I mean, I don't know what Zerg can really do against that.
Yeah, like, the thing is, all the new Zerg stuff is not early game, which makes me think when Parting starts HOTS for real, and he does his exact same Immortal push, but this time he has a Mothership Core with it, how the hell are you ever going to stop that? Because right now it's like, well, even if you know it's coming and you have Map Hack on,
Yeah.
you might not stop this because he's so good at it. But what
It's
if
a
he
good
also
chance.
has 2 Time Warps with it?
Yeah.
Like-
okay. And actually, it's so strong. I don't know why every Protoss is just doing Immortal all-ins with Mothership
They
Core.
should be. Well, eventually it gets old. Like,
Oh, yeah,
I
I'm
once
sure.
did Immortal All-Ins for 1 week straight, and it was like, by the end, I just was like, this is not StarCraft anymore. This is something else.
Yeah, I feel that way when I watch it in GSO. I'm just like, I don't want to watch this. But yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, that. You know what? They're gonna have to do something, man. Because actually, the more I think about that now, yeah, I guess you have Burrow now. Like, no, they get
No,
observed with that
that's
too.
actually-
No,
It's actually
Yeah.
useless. Completely
Yeah.
useless.
sorry, mOOnGLaDe. When Parting comes over, you're not gonna beat him.
You're not gonna win.
It's gonna get like 2-base mutas and hope he doesn't open Phoenix or something. It's all good.
Oh God, yeah. Mutas, by the way. Phoenixes don't necessarily stop mutas anymore. Man.
Yeah.
I think
I know we have the extra range, but those fuckers turn on a dime and just snapped 3 of my Phoenix necks, and I'm like, oh.
That's true. That's true.
Uh.
But I still get shut down pretty hard by Phoenix if they open in Phoenix. It's just instantly it's the good
Yeah,
guys.
yeah. Well, they have to actually be good at using Phoenixes, unlike me, I guess. So.
No. I guess it can be either way. It just depends.
Sorry,
Yeah.
I'm mesmerized right now by Puck's Colossus Warp Prism.
Jesus,
Mike, are you
I
seeing
just
that?
looked over there. What the hell?
That shit's insane. What the hell?
Oh my God, Puck.
That was absurd. Anyways, keep that shit up, Puck. That's awesome.
Damn. Well, that's not something that I would ever try because I'd look away for 1 second, I'd hear like
Yeah.
a dog bark and turn, and then it's like
You
my
knock,
warp
you would
prism's
knock
dead,
your
and-
mic over using your mouse that much, man.
It's true.
God, that was impressive. What were we gonna say, MOOnGLaDe?
I was gonna ask your guys' opinions on like Zerg against both Terran and Protoss late game, because I currently feel like both these days Terran and Protoss can make these late game armies that Zerg have no chance of beating if the economies have remained reasonably similar throughout the whole game. Unless Zerg is incredibly ahead, I think it's really difficult for Zerg to try and break like Tempest Storm
Yeah.
with like other
No,
units.
how do you
or
break
like,
that? Someone tell me, because
Or like mech. Or like mech
if I get
these days.
if I get ahead against Zerg and get into Sky Toss correctly, like late game Cannon Tempest Storm with like a few Void Rays maybe thrown in,
Yeah.
and then I get 2 Oracles and I just keep on casting Map Hack on your units, like.
Oh my goodness.
There's no way to break that as Zerg. You can't do
I
it.
feel
If I'm
like
like
this-
completely methodical, you are fucked, man. You're not getting through me.
Mass
like-
cannons, and they're sitting there, man. They have everything.
I cannon
All
push the
tools.
whole map because I don't need my minerals because I just spend. I only buy Tempest and Psystorm.
Yeah.
It's weird.
How good are
It's-
Tempest, Dan?
Ruins it.
Well, if you can actually get a bunch of them, they're ridiculous. Except against those mines because they just run up underneath and burrow, and you're like, oh, I spent all my money on Tempest. I have nothing to kill the mines. But no, they're pretty crazy. Like they're a good idea because we need something to stop the Broodlord balls from before. But the Broodlord balls aren't even. You can't even go for that anymore. I don't even think about Broodlords anymore because Zergs don't even try. But mOOnGLaDe, have you tried out like against Protoss the like Roach, Hydra, Viper with binding clouds?
I love it. I love it mid
Because
game.
that is a pain in the. If I have a gateway-based army, oh my god, you have to go Templars for feedback. It's like the only way to deal with that, as far as I can tell.
Well, most of the Protoss I play these days just simply open Templar every time, just for Storm, straight up. So like, even if I'm going like this awesome thing and I have like awesome blinding cloud in their army, providing they don't feedback me, they just storm everything and just run away.
Yeah.
And I take so much damage just from the storms alone that my Hydras are useless, my Roaches just die anyway, and just Templar just pretty much solves all the problems of mid game.
Yeah, the Colossus tech is like not nearly as good as in Wings of Liberty. It's actually really weird because I keep trying to go Colossus because I'm so comfortable with my Wings builds, and like I mean, Viper just destroys it in like 4 different ways, and then like even you'd think it would be good against Swarm Host. No, not really. It's neither here nor there. Like when they get 10 plus of those, they will actually just kill Colossus with them.
Yeah.
So real quick, Dan, we had a bunch of people tweet at me. Tempest get bonus damage versus massive air only.
Oh, okay. So that actually
air and Colossus. It does not apply to
I thought my
Archons.
Archons did surprisingly well against those Tempests the other day.
The other thing, we had a bunch of questions. If you have a question, go ahead and tweet at me at MEJP. A lot of people are asking him, mOOnGLaDe, what do you think about the Ultra change in ZVP? And just kind of in general.
And what is the Ultra change? Because
it's like
flat damage.
Every
Flat
time they
damage.
make Ultras, I just kill them with Void Rays. So
well,
I haven't
honestly,
been able to see it.
I think they're gonna be
It's
better
like-
versus Terran.
it's still an Ultra. I mean, like, yeah, they changed the damage so it does more damage. It just does the same damage for everything. It's like 35 damage, I think, which is good against Zealots. Amazing against Zealots, but it's still, hey, they got Immortals, they got Archons, they got everything else that just does extra damage against Ultras. So obviously against Protoss, it's not going to still do much damage at all. And yeah, it's just the same pretty much. I feel like they're pretty unusable unless you're
What
gonna
do you
like.
think about ZVT though?
CVT, they're still awesome. I still use them. Obviously, mines make it a little trickier, but yeah, I still use them in CVT. I still love them.
What about like what is your late game unit composition in the 2 matchups? Like, do you want to try it as Zerg right now? Because I totally am with you with what you're saying on the death ball that Protoss gets to is impossible. Like, but does that mean that you think you should just go Muta? Like, just try for the Muta game?
Well, I've been trying different things. I've been going like still like heavy infestors mid game, like Ling Roach and maybe some Vipers or Corruptors, depending on if they're going Colossi or not. And kind of just been really pressuring them mid game, trying to get a strong eco lead, so I don't have to have that kind of even economy war of air and ground. And but usually the way I feel it usually ends up is like I got this massive amount of Corruptors in a beautiful arc. I'm trying to fucking bum rush the Tempest while they storm my whole army, and I'm dropping infested Terrans everywhere. And with some maybe like some Hydras and some Vipers to pull and Blind Cloud. That's usually how it ends, and a lot of the time I lose. But I've won a fair few amount of times if I'm like ahead in the economy against Protoss, just by like through it. But it doesn't feel like it's a proper win. It feels like I'm because I'm already ahead.
Like I'm 1,000 times better than you, and I won. Yay. What about against Terran though? Because
against the mech, I have. It's really hard to say. I mean, like that's again like if I'm really ahead because I've identified they're going mech fast, and I like do some roach drop that does sick damage and all this other stuff. It's all right. But if it gets to the late game, and they've got like 10 Ravens, Mass Viking, Mass Thor, tank. Doesn't matter what army you have, you're not going to beat it. I don't think. So I feel
one of the tweets was talking about how Idris says Vipers are easily counterable by feedback and I guess Terran. Have you learned how to minimize? Oh, and Terran has learned how to minimize Binding Cloud's effect. Do you agree?
Do what? Say that. Sorry,
I fucked that entire tweet up. He's basically saying Vipers are too easily counterable by feedback, and that Terran has learned how to minimize Binding a Cloud's effect. Yes.
All right.
That was hard. I don't know why.
Well, yeah, Vipers are good like mid game, but they do get shut down really quickly. If you have Vikings with feedback, like Vikings, you're gonna kill them before they get close enough to use Blinding Cloud. Or they're just going to snipe you as they run in and out. And feedback. I mean, most Protoss already have Storm, so it's just naturally feedback them. Blinding Cloud, really useful against, like, I find Blinding Cloud very useful if you can make enough, or if you have, like, a bunch of extra units to kind of buff the damage, like Corruptors or some Overlords or something to go first. And you like, any siege tanks that have got Blinding Cloud obviously have 0 range, which is very useful. But yeah, it's pretty much if they want to counter them, they just need to go Vikings or Templar. So it's like, and the problem is that it's tier 3, so you got to get to tier 3 first before you even get Vipers, which makes it like a whole lot easier for both races to counter them because they'll already have the tech.
By the way, did anyone watch Titan versus Stefano? I think Stefano just made Roaches the 3 games and just like probably has never even played Heart of the Swarm, but just won. Like, that's all he did in 3 games in a row. He just made Roaches. There's like Mothership cores and like slow time, and he's just like, I'll qualify for the biggest tournament in MLG by just making Roaches.
Well, he
does a lot of subtle stuff though too, I'm sure.
He does a what? What did you say, Doa?
I said Stefano's the type of guy though to do a lot of like subtle positioning things among like just going for what looks like a basic composition too, because. That's like I feel like that's what a lot of people said about him back in like late 2011 too, and like ZVTs, like he just makes a bunch of roaches and pushes, but it's like not just like what he makes, it's how he uses what he makes that makes him so good.
And to be fair, it was a 2v1, or a 2-1 win there, so he didn't just roll over. Titan, I think, is who his opponent was.
Well, that's actually when like a new beta comes out and stuff. Yeah. People are focusing so much on new strategies and new units that sometimes just macroing up like old school kills them off. That's like a lot of the early beta tournaments. I was actually talking to Dark Force, and he was like, "Yeah, no, I just used exactly Wings of Liberty's build and killed everybody." And it's like, well, everyone's trying to be fancy with their oracles, and Dark Force is like, well, I just use normal stuff. It's fine.
Yeah.
I'm reading through tweets and seeing if there's anything. One of the guys is giving the suggestion of Corruptor Swarm Host Overseers, where you just kill the Observer, and then you just keep using Swarm Host pressuring the natural off of 3 base.
Yeah,
is there any validity
I've heard
to
of
that?
people using that.
I feel like Tempest is still just going to shut it down there. But
Tempest will shut everything down. If you actually get into like 4 or 5 base Tempests with good cannon coverage and Psystorm, and you have like 5-6 Stargates, reasonable upgrades, which it's not super easy to get in that position, but it happens a decent amount of my games, so like I don't know any way to beat that. Like I'm not.
Bring back Scourge.
You know what it feels like? I feel like I'm playing Wings of Liberty beta mech against Zerg, where like you could have 15k banked and 1,000 larva and full upgrades in every unit and never break the mech Terran back then. It just wouldn't happen.
Slight correction, Stefano won 3-0. I forgot it was a best of 5 instead of best of 3. But that's just for those nitpickers out there who are going to give me shit on Reddit. Let's some more questions here that people are bringing up. Dan, what do you think of? How are you opening up in PVZ? Are you still going? Are you fast expanding with Forge? Are you opening Gateway first? What are you doing?
No, I don't like you force yourself into a pressure attack always if you open up with Gateway expand, I feel. So I don't really like that as much. That's not like my strength. So I've been doing Forge expands into 3 base, whether that's off of Robotech or Stargate Tech, and just playing like somewhat normal, but with the new units. Like Mothership Core is so useful. Like I'll walk, there's a lot of times in PvZ where you can kill a base, but you're going to lose your army. So then I just Mothership Core out or something like that. And
yeah, we haven't even talked about that yet. The recall.
You want to talk about that? Let's talk about recall. It's pretty sick, huh? It's a pretty good spell, right?
Wait, what is that? How much energy is that? Is it 100? And you don't have to research it?
No, it comes right on it, man. And if you accidentally lose that at some point, you just make another one and wait a few seconds. Like, try to boost that thing out. And it's pretty, like... Jesus. I have won quite a few games where I just walk across the map, click on a hatchery, the army's coming, throwing down fungals and stuff, and I'm like, ha ha ha!
Just
Town Portal. And I just learned last night that you can click on the mini map to Town Portal. You don't have to go back.
Man. Hold on. How does the recall work? It recalls to a Nexus or it recalls to the Mothership Core?
Nexus. The core has to be with you. You have to bring it with you. So like,
okay.
It's Town snipe Portal. It, but I guess if I saw it getting sniped, I would just Town Portal away.
I'm trying to think of like in the hands of a pro Korean if they like build a Nexus on the other side of the map next to another base.
I was thinking about that.
You like kill 1/3 and recall over there, kill another base. Man.
Yeah,
I bet you people are going to be doing that.
Drop the third main and make a Nexus, like.
Yep. It's really it's very hard to deal with. I feel. Yeah, and if they snipe a base and just get out of there, I mean like. They don't even have to use the whole army. Like they just use like 20 stalkers and just jump in, kill it, out of there. And it's just you can't do anything about it. Nothing to do. You can do damage to it as they teleport away, but no one's going to do that much damage to them.
I think Zergs need to, because like it feels like against Protoss at least the Viper negates like an old way to play Protoss that we have other ways that we can play it. So it like negates like Colossus.
2 years ago Protoss.
Yeah, and which is I'm like, well, I guess that's nice, but that leaves you with against Protoss at least just the Swarm Infestor Lord.
Swarm host.
In my head, like
it's called a lurker.
Sentries are forest fielders. I'm a commentator too, guys. I get paid for this, but I don't know. I can never think of the actual name. I just think of what it does. I don't know if I could. Link my brains up to yours, you'd hear whale sounds. That's how I think about StarCraft.
Have you been using Nidus at all, mOOnGLaDe?
Nidus?
Not at all?
I tried like Nidus Queen with Swarm Host and stuff, but I only tried that once and they found my Nidus before it finished, so it didn't work.
Yeah, that's pretty much how Nidus are, huh?
Yeah, I haven't given much of a shot, but it feels a bit gimmicky, to be honest, and I don't like gimmicks. Except Nidus.
You know, we never really... We never gave an answer or a suggestion on Widow Mines and Hellbats. Like what? How do you deal with them? What are you supposed to do?
I don't know. Remove Widow Mines and make Hellbats. How about you make?
I think that there's like maybe change the range of a Widow Mine.
The fact that I can't.
The amount I have to babysit one stalker to kill a Widow Mine that I have an observer over is actually really weird. It's like, I guess I can use my actions for that, but I feel like that's not... Like, if I can't attack, move, and kill it every time, I feel like I'm like doing things that aren't aren't representative of the skill that I should be showing in other areas. You know, I'm spending precious APM like doing something that's kind of silly, and I don't know. That's
The
I
5
just
range
find it-
seems very
I find
loose with the Widow
I find
Mine.
it very silly that I have to like trigger it as a Zerg to kill it. Like I got to
Yeah.
send a Zergling in first or something, or I got to take a hit with something, and then I can kill it because it's gonna kill whatever it gets near it. And there's
and that's a
nothing I
lot
can
of
do about it.
clicks. That's like a lot of clicks right there. And the thing is,
And
you have to know where it is. You have to send in your Zergling, and then you send in the Overseer with the thing to kill it.
And then you send, yeah, exactly. And it makes the game stand still for me if I'm going like bling bling muter or something like that, and I want to like be harassive, but he's got a mine there. If I go in, he's gonna kill either like 5 meters or he's gonna kill 30 Zerglings or Banelings, and there's nothing
what?
I can do about it.
Let's just make them into spider mines. Let's just make
Dude.
them so that they explode.
They
Pop
should
out a
they should
Hellion.
at least be like if you're attack moving with range, you just kill them like that because they appear and they aggro. Like
That's
a
what
spider
happened
mine.
in StarCraft 1, man.
Like a spider mine, exactly.
I've had idiot Protosses in StarCraft 1 attack moves fucking Dragoons across the field and just kill all my mines as they pop up.
yeah. I mean, like,
That's
but I guess they're not as cheap as spider mines, and they're doing 3 at a time from vultures and whatnot. So it's a whole different sort of system.
no, of course.
But I feel currently it's not fun. It's not fun to watch. It's not fun to play against. It makes the game go a lot slower and drag out a lot more, and it ruins the gameplay. As my personal opinion, and a big fan of Blink Bling meter.
You know, maybe if also, I feel like they should have a higher attack priority, probably. You know?
Yeah, especially when you know how they're visible for a second before they shoot.
Yeah.
I don't even know if you can attack them in that time. They
I'm
appear.
pretty sure you can. Like, I think
But they
I've
don't
killed
kill
some
aggro.
right before. I think.
Yeah,
Like, it's hard to tell in the heat of a game, like, exactly what's happening, but
yeah.
I don't know. The Widow Mine is a weird thing.
Yeah.
It's very strange.
Weird.
I like it how
I
it can
think-
hurt the enemy though. That's good.
How,
Yeah,
how do they
replay
even
and
work
stuff,
that
yeah.
into the lore, by the way? Is it just like an automated unit? Is it an automaton or
It's
whatever it's
like-
called?
And then they made little robots that burrowed underground and shot missiles into the air.
Yeah,
And
it
somehow
just
they
seems
reload.
Yeah,
Somehow they
Next
reload,
set
guys, I don't know.
it seems so foreign to me, honestly.
it's not a mine. It's more like a
kind of
SAM
weird.
site.
Well, I think there's going to be all this lore about how the Terran is like adopting Zerg like biotechnology into their units. Mark my words, guys. I'm betting that's what it's going to be. I'm betting that's
Of
what's
course,
going to
man.
happen.
If I was
The Reapers are
Artosis
healing
Megs,
themselves now. Come on.
I would
Obvious.
totally have scientists on that, man.
Yeah, man. Control the Zerg. Don't just destroy them. Yeah.
Yeah,
They
I
already
like
tried
that. I bet he would. I bet he would.
Pretty
What?
sure in like Pre-War they used the
Yeah,
beacon to
the
attack
end of it,
Zerg.
they had the Overmind on the
Oh, yeah,
planet.
Yeah.
It's time to take it to the next level, Mix.
They're getting doomed themselves, man. Zerg's gonna overrun them. They're playing with fire there. Just you
It'll be
see.
poetic justice when it happens.
Part of the swarm, bro. Spoiled the story. I'm sorry.
Yeah, and that's why they got the hell back, because they have all these Zerg units. They're like,
That's why
what will
it's
kill
healable now.
everything?
Yeah. We fucked up.
Oh.
Like Hellbats.
We'll
What
put
if we
Zergs
What if we
Something
combine
that
the
kills away.
Marauder and the Hellion and try to put it into one unit, guys?
You know what they did is they made the Fire Bat again from StarCraft 1, but like
100 times better.
the way that StarCraft 2 is, with so many units being made so quick and bunching so much, that the Fire Bat is just so.
That was the
Good.
one thing that made me really nervous at the beginning of StarCraft 2. It's like, holy shit, they all bunched together. All these Zerglings are so close together, and there's so much AoE. And I was just like, yep, everything dies. Zerglings aren't as good as.
Crazy.
What one of the tweets is throwing out the idea of having to manually fire the Widow Mine. Would that change a whole lot?
That'd make it. No, I'd make it the same. It'd
Yeah.
Make it.
If anything, that would
Banelings.
almost make it better because it wouldn't fire on random ass units. You could wait till
Well,
it
Yeah,
ends.
wait till the Banelings are over the top of them. And
But still, like that's too much asking the Terran player to do too much. I think, or
I think
that
they
would
should
make it like
reduce
an
the range.
ultra support unit.
Yeah,
I think they should reduce the range on it. Take it down to like 3 or something like that.
from 5.
Because I mean, it wouldn't solve the problems with like dropping it into. Well, maybe it would solve a little bit with dropping it into mirror lines because you'd be able to have a better chance of getting things away. You know, because it seems like a lot of times when you're pulling away from a Widow Mine, you think you have your stuff out of range, but yet one on the end like still shoots and hits them.
Well, the way the
So-
units clump, it'll actually just kind of like go into the range. I find that happens a
feel
lot
like-
too.
I feel like the way the Widow Mine works, it like acquires its target like behind the scenes before it fires, so it can look like you're out of that 5 range and still get hit by it. It seems really weird, but I think they should just reduce the range to like 3. or something like that.
I can't tell you how weird it is when I try to kill one like a few days ago with the Void Ray, and then it shot the Void Ray, and I'm like,
Yeah. Well, I remember playing a bunch of games against Wolf, and he was like rushing me with early Widow Mines and stuff like that. And I would have my Stalkers because I'd be playing random, so I'd get Protoss sometimes, and I'd be killing it with like Stalker Observer, and I would have vision, but my Stalkers would keep like edging a little bit too close and getting hit, and yeah, it's weird, man.
one thing, it's a non-friendly splash, right? Like if I
No,
bring
it
that
hits,
splash,
it hits friendly.
It hits friendly, yeah. Yeah, Terran
one
can kill
good
their
thing
own
about
stuff with it. It doesn't hit other Widow Mines, but it hits everything
wait.
else.
What I mean is like if I like run a Zealot into some Marines and it shoots into it, do the Marines take splash as well?
Yeah.
They'll
They will.
all die too.
That's
Yeah.
good. That's good. Because if that wasn't the case, I'd be really upset.
That was
Yeah.
the change they made like early on into beta, was they made it splash friendly.
I've actually been considering going for one carrier every game against Terran.
So what do you think about carriers?
Everything.
What do you think about carriers? Are they still worthless, Dan?
No, I don't. I think they're even somewhat worthwhile in StarCraft 2, Wings of Liberty. Like I think we're going to see MC make some carries tonight and kill some Zergs with it, maybe. They're somewhat useful just because they're ridiculous range and like.
Yeah.
I'm not joking. I'm feeling like because when I go Sky Terran against Mech or Sky Toss against Mech, like they run so many Widow Mines in that I can have 12 Phoenixes and lift every Widow Mine I can. They still have 5 more that burrow, and I'm like, and then all my blue Phoenixes sitting there get hit by the splash and everything lands and then goes under, and then all my Tempests die, and I'm like, oh. So now I'm considering starting to mix in a couple carriers.
I think it's good against Zerg because just to buffer the Tempests and Storm while like all the Corruptors are hitting everything.
I don't know. I feel like I just make more cannons for that. Like,
Yeah, that's true, I guess. Either way.
I don't know. I have a lot of options against you, mOOnGLaDe. I'm sorry.
I know. I just want to give mutas. Nah, I don't. Mutas are fun, but I wish I could just do something late game that felt good. Give Broodwar twice the range so they can outrange the Tempest, maybe?
That's great. We just go right back to what we were
Yeah,
at
it's just
before.
HOTS all over again. Or
What we
Wings of
could have done
Liberty.
is just taken Wings of Liberty and like zoomed the screen in a little bit more to make it what you're trying to get.
That sounds alright.
mOOnGLaDe, what do you think about the fact that Hydras now have 2 upgrades? Should they be? You think they should be combined into one, or is it good that there are?
I think
2
it's fine.
upgrades?
I think it's fine.
Are
maybe
you
make it,
Are you
make it
utilizing
tier
the
one?
second one?
Yeah, absolutely. I find it incredibly useful having mobile Hydras. I mean, without it, they're pretty crap. But with them, you got like a awesome hit squad with like Roach, Hydra, and Viper, and you can just do everything.
Do you find yourself
Engage.
going for speed first before range sometimes? If you
Yeah,
want to
what
be
do you
like
like the order?
extra
That's a
aggressive?
Good
Wait,
question.
did they bring down speed to layer tech?
Yeah, it's layer tech now, yeah.
Yeah, it's all there. I usually go with range first. To be honest, I still like range, especially if we've got roaches in front of them. I found it to be pretty important. But it might just be like an automatic thing, so I just go GA like that.
Yeah.
And I've got.
Do you think there'd be a situation if you want to go for some sort of really quick like Roach Hydra push that you would just go for speed first just to get in there fast? Or would it always be better to get ranged first?
I think it's better to get range because the range is really important, especially against Protoss. I mean, like if they're force building you and stuff, you really want range.
Makes sense.
Yeah. So, just really quick, your personal thought, like, do you like to go? Let's say you went 3-base Zerg against Cannon Expand Protoss. Phoenix has come out as your layers morphing. Are you playing it like Wings of Liberty, or are you going Hydras? Because I've noticed everyone seems to be going Hydras when I go Phoenix opening. They're like, well, I'll just get some Hydras now because they do have that upgrade.
Well, the general thing in Wings of Liberty is if you go on Phoenix, you're going right into Colossus. And the good thing about Heart of the Swarm is you don't fear Colossus anymore because you got Vipers. So, and the best thing with Vipers is Roach and Hydra. So I think it's a good natural idea to just get straight into Hydra or Roach Hydra. I did that a lot. I have tried like other stuff like just massing infestors like Wings of Liberty and going for like infested Terran timings and stuff. Both of them have been so it's still up in the air. It's like strong mid game, but obviously if it gets to late game, you're in trouble. You got to really figure out a way or get ahead, kill a base. Yeah, I do both of those usually.
And I got one more little question, or I want to vote while QXC isn't here. Can we all agree while he's not here that Terran is the best in Heart of the Storm?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay.
But I do find that Protoss
High
is not
five,
far.
everybody.
High five.
Protoss is not far behind, guys. High five for that too.
I honestly think what they're doing is just trolling all of the Zergs into like mentally preparing themselves like we're the best right now, Wings of Liberty. We're gonna go into Heart of Swarm. It's an expansion for the Zerg. We're gonna be really, really
Well,
good at the start.
It's
To be
system shock,
fair,
man.
I think we should just talk just a little bit more about the Mutalisk versus Protoss. It's too bad that like we're never going to see the Mutalisk against Terran because of those Widow Mines. Like that's just never going to happen, which is too bad because I would have liked to see more. Because I really like Ling Baneling Muta, like mass Muta play against Terran. I think it's so
like
fun, so cool.
It's like the bread and butter of like StarCraft from all the time. Like it happened in StarCraft One. It was happening in Wings of Liberty, and now it's kind of being phased out because of these stupid mines, and it's very sad. Anyway, where are we going with this? Sorry.
Well,
Mutas.
but against Protoss, like Mutas are pretty quick, man. Like
Like
they can be
Protoss-
reasonably hard to deal with. If you didn't go Stargate tech, that can.
Yeah.
I mean, Sidestorm doesn't seem as good as it was against them because they dodge quicker and they regen. So it's like I haven't really been going Sidestorm as much against them.
It has its place, absolutely. Like especially if you're doing like say like a Roachling timing on a third into Mutas, kind of like what they're doing in Wings of Liberty at the moment.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
so strong, especially if they're not going Phoenix first. And yeah, it's still a lot of Protoss that don't go Phoenix first. It's just a matter of choosing to go Mutas and
So
good
do
opportunities.
you think that you should always go Stargate openings against Zerg right now?
I think there's no reason not to. I mean, there's nothing that's going to really kill you early game anymore, I feel. I mean, you got the Mothership Core and you got... Yeah, I feel like you got enough tools to really help you early game to not really suffer opening air.
Let's say that you don't want to open air, right? Let's say that you're playing Protoss and you know ahead of time somehow he is not opening Stargate. Do you think the optimal strategy is to go for Mutas?
Oh, absolutely. Unless it's like an immortal timing or something, and you go
I
3
don't
days.
mean that. I mean like a regular macro game.
Yeah. I would Mutas in a heartbeat, man, because if you can go like max Mutas and they don't have Phoenix opening, you gotta have a fun time for a while.
Yeah.
Unless they shut it down really good, like it's a lot of fun.
Dude, did you see Baby Knight Nurchio on Entombed? Did you see that?
I didn't see it.
That was kind of a shocking game.
Was it just Mutas?
Well, he went Mutas and killed about 40 probes or something, and then Baby Knight sat on 3 bases and came back.
Wow.
He's like got 2 forges and just like Nurture didn't upgrade, and they went into Tempest to push back spines. It was like, damn, Baby Knight, like, salute you, man.
I think
Yeah,
this
I'm
is
glad
that
I
game
can
right
see
now, Dan. If you want to check out the stream, I think that game is being shown right now. So you
Yeah,
can...
that's exactly the game right there.
Hmm.
Like,
Oh,
when I saw this, I'm like, well, shit, man, Nurture's got him, but like, that's worth watching. Like, obviously there was a lot of mistakes by Nurture to lose this one, but it was like, I feel like, by the way, I just want to throw this out there. PvZ, I feel like Double Forge is so much more important now than it used to be.
Yeah.
Hear me out, right? Because obviously they invested Terra Nerf, but more importantly, I feel like plasma shields are actually good now because you're almost always mixing in air units, and it's like an armor for both.
Yeah.
What was my third point? I had a really good third one. Hold on. my brain's starting to die. Well, no, I like Double Forge now. The end.
You like what?
The Double Forge against Zerg. For some reason, I'm like really, really digging it right now. I don't know.
I think it's a really good idea.
Oh, and the other one was because Hydras are so much more prevalent, and like you want armor upgrades against something that shoots so fast and they have so many of them. So
Absolutely.
it's no longer just like a siege where it's like, well, these armor upgrades, I guess they're okay against the Broodlings, but I can't get to you anyway, so it doesn't matter. You know, it's more like there's more like actual fights between units that cost money, so like the upgrades are more important, I guess. I don't know. I haven't said this out loud yet. This is my first try for the feeling that I've had in my head for the past 3 days.
I do want to say, if you guys want to see any of probably the best HOTS matches right now, all of these VODs that I'm showing on stream are from the winter season showdowns that MLG's putting up, and all their VODs are free on their website. You can just go to MajorLeagueGaming.com and check them all out. They have all the VODs, I'm pretty sure, as soon as the matches are over. So go check that out if you want to see kind of what everyone else is doing in Heart of the Swarm. But back to the show. Is there any? I mean, should we wait till next week to continue this discussion about how overpowered Terran
Yeah,
is?
we should probably let QXC come back into the fray.
Need to be fair, yeah.
Did anyone see? I don't know if it's slack to bring it up when QXC's not here. Maybe it'd be better next week. But the Reddit thread on of his stream where he's like laying into his keyboard. Anyone
There's
see
a
that?
void ray killing his
saw
bunker.
that it was
He has it
there.
right.
It's pretty funny.
Do you know what happened in the game that made him rage? I didn't read the
all
thread.
I saw on that, all you need to see is like right in the clip. It's like you look at the screen and there's a void ray overcharging and killing his bunker really quickly, and then the game ends. So it's like,
Yeah.
Well,
Void
to
Ray's
be
mad.
fair,
got
he
it right.
typed. It was very quick. He typed GG, and then like
Yeah.
a split second happened, and he punched the keyboard. Like, yeah, it was
He was
a
still-
well-mannered rage. Like,
It was actually impressively managed. If I was that angry, I would not be GGing. I'd be like, fuck you. And I'd just walk away. But I'd do that on the
While the
barcode.
stream's on.
oh, okay. So apparently, what happened is he was up 2-0 in a show match. Then he lost 3 straight games to all ends from Puck.
Ah, shit.
Oh.
Yeah, that'll do it.
well, Dan, what do you think of these void ray all-ins that are becoming back in style now because of the new void ray ability?
According to
It's-
someone in the chat, by the way.
It's good. Those are strong builds, man. I actually like the Oracle ones more because I like the Oracle more than the Void Ray, but I mean, it's going to take a while for people to figure out exactly what to do against these. If you open up standard Wings of Liberty builds as Terran, there are now all-ins that Protoss has that will kill you. So I guess always grab a factory and throw down a couple Widow Mines or something like that. I don't know. I haven't mapped these out because I like to play macro games a little bit more. So I'm not 100% sure on everything yet. I will be soon, but
I feel like Terran's going to be stuck on one base for a little bit longer in Heart of the Swarm, just because of
well,
a lot of
you
stuff.
can
Because,
always
like you
do
said,
like you can do command center, but like go right into a factory or something. I think, and you'll probably
you'd have to get
be
it
fine.
really fast. Yeah.
Yeah, like the one racks, like maybe racks late gas command center factory, that build, like the
You'd have to be-
TPZ build.
You have to be getting Widow Mines really quick and make sure they're in the right spot. I feel like Vikings are going to be important, but that's all the way on Starport, so it's kind of awkward. But
You probably always are going to want to get a Viking or two now against Protoss, like even if they're not going Colossus, because like those little Oracle guys are so scary. If you don't have anti-air, man, they will actually just be part of the army. Like just watch White Raw games, man. Like he wins battles he absolutely should not until his opponent makes 2 Vikings, then he's just like, damn, 6 Oracles gone.
Well, I think that's a good stopping point for this week then, and next week we'll see what Blizzard throws out there in the patch changes right before the show, like they have 2 weeks in a row. It'll be we'll get a patch change next week to talk about, is what I'm saying.
Okay, good.
I'm sure
That's
we'll
nice.
get one. Next week's show will be going back to the original time slot, Thursday, 11 EST instead of Wednesday. We had to do it a little bit earlier this week because I have to fly out in 4 hours is when the cab's going to be here. So, fuck my life. But
Where you going?
going up north, got to go visit someone. So, anyways, let's do some shout outs here and close out the show. So, Dan, talk to me
Yes.
about your b-boyness.
Well, I'm joining a Korean boy band. It's going to be pretty sick.
Finally.
Sick.
Yeah, it's
Glad
gonna
you're
be-
living up your
it's gonna
life
have
dream.
to be one of those bands that sings like the lollipop song because my Korean's not good enough to sing real music. But
can they call it Artosis?
I think that would be a great name, but it doesn't sound Korean enough.
Oh.
Maybe call it like 6 p.m. something like that because that's when song starts. All right, so anyways, guys, follow me on Twitter, please. It's Artosis, twitter.com/Artosis. Where's GSL tonight? Watch that. That's important. I actually have to go to that relatively soon. It starts in 3 hours
3
on
hours,
bombtv.net.
Yep.
It's going to be fantastic tonight. If you're going to watch any more Wings of Liberty, and you should because there's no good HOTS tournaments really going on. I mean, there's some good show matches, but definitely watch GSL. And also, shout out to TT Esports because they are an awesome sponsor, and I really like their stuff. It's really Look at that. All right.
Is that the Artosis
So-
mouse, man?
No, that's
Not yet,
it's
not
still
yet.
I think we're at least 6 months out until I have
Damn.
Artosis mouse to show everyone. But when I do, it'll be the best mouse ever. I'll send you one, mOOnGLaDe, unless you have a different
Thanks, man.
sponsor at the time. All
I'll
right.
still use it.
Oh, okay, we can just put like a Razer sticker over it or something.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's it for me.
All right, Doa, some shout-outs.
I guess I don't really have any specific shout-outs to do. Just
You
it'd
can
be
do
cool
some
to
League of
have.
Legends shout-outs, man. It's all good.
I don't know. I guess just watch the OGN LOL stream right now. Hopefully, we'll be getting some StarCraft done in a couple of months. They're gonna renovate the studio in March, so there's like I'm gonna be back in the U.S. for like all of March because there's nothing gonna be going on here for OGN. But yeah, LOL is Wednesdays, Fridays, and Saturdays. We've got kind of interesting matches, kind of like Pro League of Legends, where a lot of organizations like CJ and KT have like multiple teams, and this one they can like sub in players from different teams for each game and all that. So it's kind of interesting. But yeah,
Interesting.
definitely watch that. Check out my Heart of the Swarm clan, Desert Oasis Doa clan. The clan's full, but if you join Desert Oasis Practice, it's a group that anyone can join on the Heart of the Swarm BattleNet, and there's always people playing. There's always games to be had, whether you like 1v1 practice or 2v2 or whatever customs, and I stream games from that twice a week at 7 p.m. Central Time US. So definitely drop in for that because it's a lot of fun.
Sick. And
Sick.
mOOnGLaDe.
All right. First of all you Aussies watching the stream, or anyone who would love to fly overseas to see an orchestra, qso.com.au/videogames is it's called Symphony of Legends Video Games Unplugged. It's an orchestra doing a show basically on computer games, and they got StarCraft 2 and a bunch of other games, StarCraft 2 especially. It's going to be really, really good. It's on the 23rd of November, 2 p.m. and 7 p.m. 2 shows. So get your tickets. I should be there too, so you can say hello.
Sick.
Along with that, shout out to my team, Gamecom NV, a team that I never plug in this stream, and I feel terrible. My sponsors, Frag Labs and Horizon, awesome laptops. Especially shout out to my girlfriend for allowing me to do this on Valentine's Day when I should be spending it with her.
Thank you.
Thank you, Livy. And what else? SC2C.com. Check out the C scene. We aren't as bad as you think. No, we're pretty good actually. And yeah, thanks for watching. And leave feedback on my Twitter at mOOnGLadeAU about my facial hair. Is it good? Is it bad? Too much like Jesus? I don't know.
I don't know, man. Let's just leave it at that. Let me just say it's so much better to have you guys do your own shout-outs, because last week, Jesus, man, I couldn't remember anything from QXE sponsors. I said Creative and Sound Blaster, which are actually the same thing. I said something about a symphony for Dan or for mOOnGLaDe. I said
Yeah,
Dan
it was messed up last week. It was messed up.
It was bad. It was. I think I said Dan was
not your
just
fault.
joining a b-boy group because I couldn't remember anything of what he was trying to plug. It was. I don't know how you guys do these shout outs. It is. It takes some skill. So we'll see you guys next week, 11 p.m. Eastern for State of the Game. We are out. Good night.